Welcome back, friends. Last guy here. It's time for more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're on the first case. Let's continue that first case. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Let's see if I remember my voices. It's been a day. 24 hours since the last recording. Part 2, here we go. 22nd November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants, Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, that's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? Whoa. Phone. I might be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself then. On the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up... Bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside of in the dining area. Oh, well, I assume it's that guy. Well, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikatoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Law or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? You don't mind me asking, Professor. Did you know the victim? You had to, medicine. Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're up against. The gentlewoman who's involved in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash her case. I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck! Thank you! Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal the decisive blow, before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. But this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. See if I can differentiate these two voices a little more. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom number 2. Robber. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Ochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency. Against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation flounders, I assume. Flounders? If it's a Brit killing a Brit, is it really Japan's problem? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. They really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. Huh. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder, too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency? Alright, time to do a girl voice. What kind of girl is she? Oh my god, look at that hat. She's a friggin' swan. Ah! Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan. And from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Oh, what was his voice? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, and... Yes, we all know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the only thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did. Didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Inosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. She never gonna take that hat off, I swear to God. Oh my god, really? Yep, she's speaking English. He's gonna have to translate for her. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? Can we make any guesses of what they're saying? I don't know. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yuma University's medical faculty. I gotta be careful here because I know if I do it wrong, I'm gonna get into Edgeworth on accident. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I choose to believe that's in English and it's in Japanese in the original. But it's probably not. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was a bit of a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Your English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryanosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? I gotta find a new way to do Hosanaga's voice. Of course they're gonna do that! She says yes. This could take some time. Even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. Wrong voice. She says she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. I gotta put more oomph into that voice, I think. Oh, I remember what voice I want to do with him now. I now remember the voice I want to do with him. Okay, we'll see if I can get that right. Oh, now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you are so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. There's the voice I wanted. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. What? What? Order! Order in court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. It's him versus her now. Clear who our real enemy is. Huh? Yeah, it's gonna be him versus her. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Alright, so it's going to be him speaking for, of course. Witness testimony. A frightening and sorrowful sight. Oh my god, we're going to do this the whole time? I had arranged to meet a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. We're gonna do some GSR stuff in here at some point, aren't we? This is a condemning testimony indeed. Boy, what? No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you, I can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Yeah, it's true. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't butt out when you're goaded like that. There's a lesson you need to learn. Huh, but he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before. I reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. Sure it was. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. Key! Clue! Alright. You can see there's no one about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Hat! Or tail. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. A lesson until the precise location of the witnesses is to have hidden a weapon can be shown. This is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit, and I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witnesses' own words on the matter. Ugh, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Dude, that would not go well. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Clue. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Cross-examination. First things first, let's look at the court record. Anything new in here? Nothing here, but people. A new thing is this lady. Giselle Grit. Giselle Britt? Okay. A British exchange student who was studying under the victim at UMA University Medical School. Anything over here? Probably not. Okay, here we go. This.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. No. Ah! A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Which can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. There it is, I'm finding it. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? I suppose you could use the word here. In every game, the hot chick does get a lot of simping from the court. Boop.
Yes!
Press. He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hoda clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering? Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She had heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what was that? Dear me, what a harrowing experience. I've traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and been brought in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Well, he was allowed to have water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. Problem, there's only one glass on the table. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. God, every time he does that wet paper slap. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us what it is, this profound bearing. The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. Defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there were some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Press it. So she ordered steak and had a glass over carbonated water. So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective! And the beefsteak? That was before you, Miss Brett? The lady says that she heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. Wow! What a frightful place, is that the lady's opinion? I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Oh. I don't know what kind of fish Europe has, or London has, but maybe it's not as good as Japan's, I don't know. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True, come to think of it. The first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. These transitions are very interesting. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazama. Kazama. We're barely at the middle statement, alright. Yes! I've never gotten into an argument with a professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. Oh, gee, seriously, dog? English is the future. We must all... Subiku English. Oh my god, they did not just pull that out. I assume that's a line from the original. I wonder if Rescution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find some that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. I swear if she's secretly blind or something because of her covering her eyes. That'd be balls nuts, wouldn't it? Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to its own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay. Yes! Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in this restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, yeah, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. 'Cause I'm an idiot! In fact, yes. There was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time, a highly suspicious lady in the question. That'll do, you dirty rotten scoundrel. Dirty? The baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. Ha! What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Whoop! Yes! I know we're gonna hit her first, but finish this up. It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Woohoo! Absolutely, I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctively remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. Why on earth not? The honorable English gentlewoman has clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There's absolutely no need for any further probing into the matter. I clearly do not have a Kirby hat on my head. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps? Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertions with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. I lost the voice for a second. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only happy to cooperate. Only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student refuses to admit when the game is up. Could you at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you? So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is now a total unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm just exactly the same way you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. There is one, we know it. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Alright, let's do it now. We pressed everything like we always do. Now let's go ahead and get her on this. Alright, here it is. Present! Picture! There's only one glass here.
Yes!
Take it! That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the current crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, why weak slap there? Well, this is it. It's very odd. It's odd. Dear me, what's very odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Purchase told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Oh! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutia? What possible difference does the presence of or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to tell me you can clink with only one? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd! You'd hide the stake too, wouldn't you? Oh, really? Do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What? Yeah? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Okay. Ooh, that seems like a bad thing to give away. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. A place you could hide a gun. The beautiful lady was very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. I'm going to pursue this matter further. You're going to need to show it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance, there it is. There, it's the handbag! Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see, a little while ago, Miss Britt stated the following. That was stenographer? There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Woohoo! But she forgot to mention she has her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that, too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Jezebel Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Rubber. Order! What's the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Algie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. You think so, Kazuma? Oh, I'm dying here. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, balls have hit the button throughout history. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. There we go. Huh? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Why? Unnecessary in what way? I have to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. It's a clear bag! Huh. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. What's that on his wrist? Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are at the height of fashion in London at the time. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. They both. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. I was like, dude, come on. Order, order. Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court record. Let's take a look. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. Take a look. It's in a book. Photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by victim's table. Let's take a look. Yeah. What the balls is that? I guess we can't take a look at it yet, but it's obviously a thing. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print is submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance. I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed. And there's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. This is when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Yunosuke. Huh? After the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weaker meet while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. The fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Inosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Ah, hey, whoa, what did I do? Wait, Your Excellency. Inosuke? I don't think you can rule this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That's the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Yeah, I've been wondering about that hand. Why does he have that? Well, he's got the guard on. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you just said... As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question!
Objection!
This is straight, blatant straw-clutching. Look at this photographic print. Oh, it shows the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, Consul. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone this court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ah! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution is becoming tired by this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it! Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. Whew. What? But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So take another look at the photographic print Inspector Ozanaga submitted before. Save game! Scum save! Scum save! Scum save! Scum save! There you go. To identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail in which you have alluded. This is curious. Is there anything else though? Let's see. I think it's just this. Present?
Yes!
The balls is that? Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Certainly there's nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, that you're right. What? Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as prosecutor, Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. If I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link the burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise the shutting door back open again. Huh. Just give it up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what did I notice? Was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? Let us find some link between the burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. Oh, my spine. Oh, my spine. Okay. Woo. So then the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Good question. Review scene? I don't really want a review scene. It might make things go longer. Examine. Okay. Right there. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Present.
Yes!
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay a little longer. If you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Hey yo! Oh, present. I kept reading it. The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Oh! Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. Oh. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Robber. But even if that is the case, we can't know if that happened on the day in the question or not. Could have been the day before, the day before that, or it most likely happened on some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Aoji, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed a terrible disaster. Certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Professor? Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken about 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter! Trying to find a good stopping point here. There you have it. Something isn't right there. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day... That'd be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aoji? Yeah, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Ding, 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 ding. I almost don't believe it, Ryunosuke. Do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but... I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. That's a good spot to start. That's a good spot to stop. We got trap carded! But we'll stop there. We're almost hitting an hour. We activated someone's trap card. Okay, so next time we will play this out. I assume there's one more cross-examination to go. So that right there is the game for now. I had fun. Hope you watching. That's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.